Good morning, my fellow Canadians. I'd like to read you something. A word, definition. See, I'm old school. I still look at books. Parasite. An interested hanger-on or a toady, or in animal use or plant, living in or upon another and deriving nutriment from it to the detriment of the host. Okay? Got that? Something that lives in or on a host derives its nutrients, its nutriment from a host, and even though it's not in the book, until it is killed or it kills its host. Parasite. I bring up the word parasite because I've used this in the past. I know if any liberal watches this, I'm going to get flamed. We are infested as a nation currently with parasites. I will explain. We have irregular migrants. Another thing that we can thank the Liberals for is obfuscation. They're not irregular migrants. They are illegal immigrants. They are coming to this country with no intention of contributing to this country. Parasites. They are going to suck up resources and contribute nothing. Parasites. In the term parasites, I quite frankly include most of the NDP and the Liberal Party. Parasites. They contribute almost nothing to this country, to Canadian values, to Canadianism, but they suck up resources like crazy. Oh, interesting aside for anybody who hasn't been keeping up with the news, very quietly in these terrible economic times, very quietly, the Liberal Party, the cabinet, voted themselves another raise. How long has it been since there's been a decent raise in veterans' benefits? How long has it been since there's been a decent raise for pensioners? But they managed to find the money to vote themselves a raise. Parasites. Now, before anybody gets torqued about, ooh, anti-immigrant, I am the grandparent. I am the grandson of immigrants. My grandparents were immigrants. Most of the people I've worked with for 47 years, other than my military service, were foreign born or grandson or grandchildren or children of immigrants. The ethnic group with which I grew up, they were all either born in Eastern Europe or the children of parents who were born in Eastern Europe. I've spent basically my entire career working with people from literally all over the world. I don't give a good goddamn about your color. I don't give a good rat's ass about your ethnic origin. I don't give a good goddamn about your religion or your gender or your sexual orientation. None of these things matter to me in the least. I have met so many good Canadians with no history of Canadianism. People who have come from elsewhere and embraced Canada, embraced our values, embraced our freedoms, fallen in love with our country, fallen in love with literally the countryside. I welcome these people with open arms. I call them my brothers, my sisters. As far as I'm concerned, if you are like that, welcome, 1,000 times welcome. Lovely to have you here. Lovely to see the things you contribute to this country in terms of cuisine, in terms of culture. Toronto Caravan, anybody remembers that, which used to be a sort of mini traveling to foreign lands within the city. It was a tremendous idea. Unfortunately, it nosedived. I think there was allegations of corruption, of mismanagement, of fiscal shenanigans, and it was a shame to see that die. I thought it was a wonderful thing. So back to parasitism. Generational welfare recipients, parasites. They wish to contribute nothing. I met these people. I used to live in when I was much younger. I actually met generational welfare recipients, white, in case anybody thinks I'm taking a shot at gender politics or an ethnic group who thought I was a sucker because I worked. I was raised with a work ethic. Most of my friends were raised with a work ethic, to work, to contribute to this country, to add to the mosaic of Canada, not to suck up resources and contribute nothing. I understand why the Liberals would welcome illegal immigrants. There's an automatic voting block. I went on that on a previous post, how they're giving the vote to people who have not earned it because they know they will vote Liberal. Talk about a rigged election, eh? And they've come here with no intention. And in some cases, to be fair, they're not given the resources. They're not given adequate orientation as to the resources available to them to enable them to become good Canadians. So in a burdened and strained economic system, which Canada is, sadly, thanks to the Liberals, we're taking in more and more people, parasites, who will contribute nothing and suck up resources. Any responsible Canadian government, compassion be damned, any responsible Canadian government would sit there and say, priority one is taking care of the people of Canada. We are the government of Canada. Our primary priority is to take care of the people of Canada. All the people of Canada. Priority one. Not to the Liberals. It's all public record. You can look it up. How much money they pissed away out of this country. Now with the COVID-19 crisis, they're scrambling for more money. $32 billion bailout. Where's that money going to come from? Going to borrow it? You know what? Get it from China. They started this shit. They should have to pay for it. See how that works out. And yet, they keep turning a blind eye. It's either willful ignorance, cognitive dissonance, or it is learned ignorance and just sheer crass stupidity that leaves the current government incapable of handling things intelligently in this country. Roxham Road, the illegal immigrants who were coming over on Roxham Road, when they were talking about enhanced screening at the airport, look that up online and see what the enhanced screening consisted of. It wasn't until the Rebel News broke the story about Roxham Road still being wide open and people still pouring over the borders. I think it was 600 in one weekend. Illegal immigrants coming into the country, sucking up resources, and where was the enhanced screening that the Liberals tried to put forward? Now Roxham Road is closed. Trudeau is taking credit for it, but it was the Americans who closed it. But Trudeau is taking credit for that. Again, typical Liberal. Anything goes wrong, well, it's Harper's fault. Anything goes right, where they had bugger all to do with it, is their doing, and they're going to pat themselves on the back for it. And like I said, vote themselves another raise. Parasites. So, ladies and gentlemen, any true Canadian, it's time, I think, we got rid of the parasites. It's time we reprioritize our finances to see to it that the Canadian people are taken care of first and foremost. So agree, disagree. There's my take on parasites. Have a good day.